don't feel good? You feel like you're about to puke? Oh my gosh! Ew! Ew!
On a national spectrum, a series of tornadoes and strong storms have devastated the South, claiming the lives of at least 202 people across 6 states. At least 131 of these deaths were in Alabama. The massive storms leveled entire towns as tornadoes tore up a mile wide through the countryside. Search and rescue missions will continue in the areas affected for the next 48 to 72 hours, and as of this morning, the governors of Alabama, Mississippi, Georgia, and Virginia have all declared a state of emergency. While the first 3 months of 2011 saw a decrease in economic recovery and growth, it is believed that the spike in gasoline prices, higher inflation, weakness in the housing market, and possibly even weather factors are all partially to blame. According to Commerce Department report, the gross domestic product rose only 1.8% since the start of the year. That's only slightly more than half of the growth percentage seen in the last quarter of 2010.
President Obama is expected to announce big changes in his defense and intelligence teams. These will make room for some of Washington's most trusted public servants as he looks to have less involvement in 2 wars while struggling with a near war in Libya. Obama is expected to appoint current CIA Director Leon Panetta as the new defense secretary and Afghanistan Commander General David Petraeus as the new CIA director. Officials say that current Defense Secretary Robert Gates will step down at the end of June, at which these changes would begin to take effect. Now let's send it over to Andrew Brugnon for the latest in sports. Andrew?
Thanks, Danielle. The Point Park softball team is in, and the baseball team is on the bubble. I'm talking, of course, about the American Mid-East Conference playoffs. The Lady Pioneers clinched a playoff spot on their senior day Tuesday with 2 wins over Carlo, and the women are in action today to play a pair against second-place Notre Dame. With a sweep, the women can claim the regular season AMC championship and earn the right to host the AMC tournament. Let's go to the scoreboard. This game ended a short time ago, and it was a nail-biter up to the end. It came down to the bottom of the 7th, a scoreless tie. Amanda Ardinger gets hit by a pitch, and 2 outs later in a wild pitch, she is in scoring position on second base. Sarah Guffey hits a walk-off single up the middle that scores Ardinger, and the Pioneers take the first of 2 games against Notre Dame, 1-0. But the story of the day for that first game was Pioneer ace Kristen Zelenka taking a perfect game through 6 2/3. They only play 7 innings in college. In the 7th, she walked a batter and then gave up a single. And in the second game, they are through 5 innings right now. The score is 1-0 Notre Dame. Kelsey Robinson started the game, but she has been taken out. And again, if the Pioneers sweep, they will host the AMC Conference Championships and have the regular season title. The men, however, are in a different situation. They need to win. There are still 4 teams in contention for 3 playoff spots in the postseason. The men sit a half game out of first place at 11-5, and all the pieces will fall into place this weekend as those 4 teams, Point Park, Mount Vernon Nazarene, Malone, and Cedarville, are playing each other this weekend, starting with Cedarville and Mount Vernon Nazarene today in a makeup game. Point Park is hosting Cedarville tomorrow on its senior day. The pair will play again on Saturday, while Mount Vernon Nazarene plays Malone. One team's playoff fortunes we are sure about are those of the Pittsburgh Penguins. After leading the series 3-1, the Pens lost to the Lightning last night 1-0 in the first ever Game 7 and first ever playoff series at the Consol Energy Center. The story with the Penguins, again, the lack of scoring, most notable on the power play. The Gwins with another 0 for last night, putting them at a .29% power play conversion rate for the series. That translates to 1 goal in 35 chances. The Pittsburgh Pirates not faring well lately either. They fell today to the defending world champion San Francisco Giants 5-2. The ex-Pirate factor comes into play here with former Bucco Ryan Vogelsong getting the win. Jeff Karstens is saddled with the loss. That's sports. I'm Andrew Brugnon. Now back to the desk.
Thanks, Andrew. Many Point Park students are preparing to graduate and enter the outside world. While this can be stressful for anyone, imagine graduating at just 16 years of age. That's exactly what Kayla Hurd of Union, Washington is doing. Kayla's mother said she always knew her daughter was unlike other kids her age when she could read at just 18 months old. Less than that, a year later, when at the age of 2, she declared that she intended to be the first female president, and from office, she'd defend children's rights. Kayla has already passed the admissions tests for law school and plans to spend this summer filling out applications. Wow. I know that
Oh my gosh.
we are planning to graduate, but can you imagine being 16?
No, because at 16, I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life, and now at 22, I still don't know what I want to do with my life, but I'm a little less scared. I can't imagine being 16. So this kid's brilliant, genius.
Yeah, I remember in the article she said that whenever she'd put paper in her infant, practically, baby daughter's hand, she wouldn't tear it or chew on it. She'd just look at the paper,
Oh my gosh.
almost like she wanted to know what the paper said, which was kind of crazy, but really cool at the same time.
Baby genius.
Yes.
Well, coming up after the break, we'll give you a preview of the royal wedding agenda and a look at tonight's JMC event. Don't go away. Point News Now will be right back.
PAS stands for the Program for Academic Success. And basically, we're here to help students reach their academic goals. We can do that in basically 3 areas: tutoring support, counseling support, as well as support for students with disabilities. We can offer tutoring in many undergraduate courses, and our focus is on the undergraduate courses as far as tutoring that is provided by both peer tutors and professional tutors.
Hi, I'm Kayla Siebert, host of KJ on PJ, and you're watching UView.
Crying out loud, I gotta do everything around here. UView's down, there's no one even in the control room. Paul, have you seen Jesse?
I don't know where he is. You know how
You
he
can
is.
never
He's
find
always
him
missing.
when you need him. UView's down and no one has any idea where he's at. I mean, I'm telling you, I'm just like losing my mind. Well, here you are. For crying out loud, UView's down. You're in here playing around. Get out here and fix it. And clean up this mess. Some people's kids.
Point Park University is committed to bringing you the best education possible. Media professionals working in the industry frequent the classrooms, teaching students the latest techniques.
I'm Chief Meteorologist Jeff Rizal from KDK TV, and you are watching UView TV.
The world looks to London as the hours tick away to the royal wedding of Prince William and Kate Middleton. However, as all eyes turn to England, those in Maryland remember a local commoner who captured the heart of Windsor long before Kate was even born. Wallis Simpson was born and raised in Baltimore, but would one day become the Duchess of Windsor. At the time, the heir to the throne could not marry outside of noble blood. So, in 1936, Edward VIII gave up his rights to the throne so that he could marry the love of his life. Skip ahead 74 years, a lot has changed, and tomorrow another commoner, Kate Middleton, will marry Prince William. Danielle Thompson has a special royal wedding update. Danielle?
Thanks, Leticia. The waiting is almost over. It's less than 13 hours before the royal wedding ceremony begins, and the world celebrates a true modern-day fairy tale. The union of Prince William and Kate Middleton tells a Cinderella story. Kate grew up a common citizen who met her prince, fell in love, and will fulfill every young girl's dream, become a princess. It wasn't all easy, though. The couple met while in college and, excluding a brief breakup in 2007, were dating for nearly a decade before Prince William presented her with his mother's, the late Princess Diana's, ring and proposed marriage. After seeing his parents' messy divorce, it's believed that William wanted to be absolutely sure that she was the one before taking that step. The celebration begins tomorrow at 8 a.m. London time, with the Queen announcing the titles that Prince and William and Kate will take. Guests will begin arriving at Westminster Abbey at 8:15. 2 hours later, Prince William and his brother Prince Harry will arrive at the church. The last guests to arrive will be Queen Elizabeth and Prince Philip at 10:45. The last person to arrive at Westminster Abbey will be Kate, escorted by her father at 10:58. The ceremony will begin at 11 o'clock London time, yes, that is 6 a.m. here, and is expected to last about an hour and 15 minutes. After the pair says "I do," or more likely, "I will," they are expected to appear at the balcony in Buckingham Palace with the Queen and her family for 10 minutes, and at 1:25 that they will be presented to the British public. It's then believed that they are expected to share their first kiss as a married couple, just as Princess Diana did with Prince Charles years ago. Those who want to watch the celebration live can tune in beginning at 4 a.m. tomorrow morning on ABC and E, the entertainment network. I, for one, know I will be glued to the television the whole time. Back to you, Leticia.
Thanks, Danielle. In more international news, Syrian security forces continued their siege in the city of Dara Thursday. Helicopters hovered overhead while army troops broke into houses and made arrests. Snipers were stationed on rooftops, and tanks rolled through the streets that were reportedly littered with bodies. The unrest there began after some teens were arrested for scribbling anti-government graffiti. Human rights groups contend that Syrian security troops have killed more than 300 people since the March 16th arrest. The UN Security Council debated Syria yesterday, but did not agree on a response to the crisis. Guatemalan authorities arrest one of America's most wanted. Waldemar Lorenzana Lima is an alleged drug lord wanted by both Guatemalan and United States drug enforcement agencies for assisting in the transportation of cocaine to a Mexican drug cartel. Lorenzana and his 3 sons were labeled, quote, specially designated narcotics traffickers, unquote, by the U.S. Treasury Department last year. This label froze their assets in the U.S. and prohibited anyone from doing transactions with them. Lorenzo is awaiting a judge for an initial hearing.
Earlier this week, more than 100 Taliban supporters broke out of an Afghan prison, and government officials are still trying to figure out how. CNN.com reports that the ease and grand scale of the prison break would not have been possible without help from the inside. The prison housed some of Afghanistan's most dangerous Taliban members. Indeed, the Taliban issued statements that it takes responsibility for the prison break in Kandahar, the birthplace of the Taliban. Officials are unsure of how many people escaped, but have so far captured 65 inmates. 2 politically divided Palestinian territories may be moving toward reconciliation. Rival groupes Hamas and Fatah announced a deal Wednesday to form a unified government. This move comes from an international efforts for statehood advanced by Palestinian Authority President Mahmoud Abbas. Hamas and Fatah have been close to civil war in the past, though now Palestinians from both political factions have demanded an end to the split. U.S. officials are concerned because Hamas has been classified as a terrorist group for its open hostility towards Israel. Leaders from Hamas and Fatah will meet soon. 8 U.S. service members and an American civilian contractor were killed Wednesday in a shooting at an Afghan Air Force compound in Kabul. An Afghan military pilot opened fire on international troops, sparking a gunfight. The Taliban said that it had been working with the shooter for a long time, though NATO refuted these claims.
And actually, before we go, we wanted to make one special announcement about the JMC Awards tonight. They will be in the Lawrence Hall lobby from 7 to 10 o'clock. You can come get some food. There's a lot of hors d'oeuvres. There's a whole showcase of a lot of students' work, and there will also be some awards given out.
So definitely check that out, support your fellow students, and thanks for tuning in this semester.
Point News Now will return in the fall with a new crew, new anchors, and new stories.
So be sure to have a safe and enjoyable summer, and I'd say we'll see you, but we won't, so the best of luck.
Have a great summer.